Hello and welcome to the M4 round table. With M4 right around the corner, we wanted to do something big for you guys, so we went around, gathered some of the biggest talent, influencers, casters, some players from around the globe. Thank you all so much for joining, and thank you for helping build this powerhouse around me today. How's everybody doing?
What's up? I'll start. I'm Naisu, and I'm one of the casters from the Philippines. Excited for M4. Happy to be with you guys here. We just landed really early in the morning and got some breakfast with me, and now we're ready to go.
Yeah, I was the dude he had breakfast with. My name is Leo. I'm also from the Philippines, and this is my third M series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, my second time in Jakarta. I was here like a couple of weeks back. So, what's up?
What's up, guys? I'm Mirko, another one of the talents for the English desk for the M4 World Championships. It's my second M series, so hope it's going to be better than the last, I guess.
Boca?
Is it my
What's
turn?
up, guys? Boca here,
That's Boca.
mid laner for Bloodhounds in NA, United States, and looking forward to M4.
How's it going? G the Ico here. A caster for the NACT, also influencer as well. So I'm always around doing everything. Can't wait for M4. It's going to be an exciting time. And yeah, I can't wait to see it.
What's up, everybody? My name's Steph Wheezy, another caster from the NACT over in the summer and the fall season. Excited to see what M4 brings to the table. Also an influencer, and I also help teams kind of get prepared for future leagues and a part of the NASL and MLSA as well.
Hey guys, it's Gosu Yue, roamer for Team Gosu, and I'm also excited to be here with all these friendly folks here. It's a very big room, and I'm just super happy to be here. And it's my first M4 to watch as a content creator, so super excited to bring out the energy for you guys.
Is it my turn?
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Go
My name's Calsup. I'm a content creator and player. I don't really get too familiar with pro play, so this is kind of my first pro play event with Mobile Legends to kind of see it and look at it. And I'm excited to see what pro play has in Mobile Legends.
I'm Combat Cat Gaming, and I'm a previous caster for the NACT and influencer for Mobile Legends.
Right on. Now,
Yeah, I'm
Calsup.
really excited to.
Sorry.
Yeah, you go.
Well, welcome everybody. Calsup, I think all of us have, just about everyone here has probably been on the desk together at least once, or been in a VC together, talked and everything. I think Calsup, I know G, I think, has talked to you before. I don't know if anyone else right now in the room has talked to you. But this is definitely my first time ever being with you on any kind of thing like this, so welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. I've seen some of the content you created. I know you did a lot of content on League and things like that. So, I've thanked all of these guys in the past before for joining us. So since this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you, Calsup. It's a pleasure to have you here. All right, man?
Yeah, no problem.
So, quick note to everybody. If you don't know, Naisu and Leo are in the same room right now. Just wanted to point that one out.
You're looking for your hand, bro?
There it is.
Hold hands. Hold hands.
Hold heads.
Hold hands.
At first, we thought it was going to just be Naisu and Leo in the same camera like this the whole time. I actually had your guys' names like Naisu and Leo with a little and symbol there under one camera.
Like a conjugal camera.
Yes, exactly. So, not to get too far off track, the main thing we all are here for is M4, right? How many days do we have left, guys? 5 days till group stage.
That's right.
And
Wait.
I think 3 days.
I was going to say, quick math, bro. It's the 29.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4 days for us, 3 days for
3
you
days.
guys.
Yeah.
4 days for us, 3 days. You guys are in the future right now. So 3-4 days until group stages. Personally, I feel like this is going to be probably one of the best M series we ever had. I think with the meta, with everything overall. I think it's just the teams. So many teams have gotten so much stronger across the globe. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. But I think we should kind of start at the beginning with those group stage polls. You know, me, Naisu, a couple other people, watch them all live together. I think a lot of them are interesting, and I kind of wanted to go one by one through everybody. If there was a certain group stage that really came out to you, pointed out to you, something you're excited to see, what's the most hype thing you're ready for with the upcoming group stage? And we're going to start at the top again with Naisu.
For me, it's pretty simple. I just want to see Falcon and Blacklist play. That's probably like number one. And I know a lot of people are like have their own ideas about Blacklist. So I just want to see if, given the results of previous international tournaments, like where they stand for the M series. And I feel like a lot of people too are wondering about Falcon this time around again because of what happened in MSC and what they've accomplished so far from then until now. And I think a big test is Blacklist International and just that group in general. But that's what I'm looking forward to.
I agree. Leo?
You know the biggest hype thing going in M4 is it's basically the Valley versus anybody. Like that's the real test for me personally.
Listen, I know it's an NA. I know it's like an NA podcasting thing, but you don't gotta.
in public. All right?
Oh, sorry.
In the hotel and in the streets when people ask.
Leo's like, nice here. If anybody asks, I am RRQ. That's it. I got you, dude.
All right. But deep inside, I honestly really want to see what the Valley has to bring. Because again, I don't think, save for the returning champion, right? Save for Blacklist, what other team has the most hype behind them, right? Like for those who know, sure, Blacklist because there's history, and then Falcon for like the esports fans, like it's the Burmese. They're super legit. They're so strong. But what about the Valley? Like I don't think we've ever seen a team that is both as pressured and as hyped up and as loud as the Valley in a while. So how are they gonna show up, right? Like I think they were so vocal in saying, "Yeah, we're gonna take over our group. No question, upper bracket." How, right? And I want to see how they do that. So that's where I'm at right now.
I like it. Mirko, tell us about Onyx.
For me, yeah. I'll Onyx, dude.
Tell us about Kyrie, bro.
Onyx, dude.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Onyx Esports are actually like the best team coming into this tournament. I think they are one of the favorites for sure. You know, Indonesian champions, and with Kyrie stepping into the roster, man, we all know Kyrie. We all know how good he is, especially in Indo. I feel like he's refined his skills in Indo. I think the whole team complements each other really well. And honestly, I want to talk about their coaching staff, man, because like their coaching staff makes it work, dude. They have so many crazy players on their team. Everyone having like a specific style, you know, a certain style, unique style to their own way to play the game, right? Like even their mid laners, Drian and Sans, they're so different in the way they approach the game, how they play the game. But the coaches make it work every single time, even with the roster changes here and there. So Aldo, Yeb, and Mars, man, those three, I think they're gonna take M4.
Okay. Do you think Onyx got like so? Like, I personally, I think Onyx kind of got for Onyx, they got kind of an easy group, right? Like, do you think there's going to be an exciting match in their group in Group B, right? Like, do you think they like Todak is the challenge for them? Haven't they lost like every game they've ever like? Haven't they lost a lot of big games to Todak?
MSC, M3, I think they only won an MPLI up against Todak. So yeah, Todak is definitely their kryptonite, right? In international events because of how crazy they are. Dude, they're even crazier than Onyx sometimes when it comes to the drafts and especially when it comes to gameplay.
Okay. Boca?
For the group stage I'm looking at is obviously NA biased, the Valley. And the reason being that is that the Valley it's more of a newer team. It's a bunch of seasoned players, but it is a newer team. And when we look at NA as a whole, this is their fourth ever performance ever on a stage. We can look at M1, we can look at M3, and we can look at the most recent NACT M4 qualifier. Like this is their 4th ever time on a stage, and we're about to see them play. I think it's January 2nd. So how they do in this group stage is really going to tell us like what can we expect from this team when they're on the big stage. So
I like it.
No, I mean that's
Nah.
legit. I think Boca brings up something
Nah.
new. Is yes, the Valley is loud, but it's their first time together. Like, I mean that's something new that came up because BTK is a totally different beast. There's like, it's a different team completely
Yeah.
almost.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nah.
yeah.
I was
I
thinking
could disagree,
the
but when
same thing. I was thinking the same thing, to be honest. You know, I was actually out of the get-go, even being in North America, Group D was probably where I wanted to flow. Not because it's only the Valley in there, but S11 took out New Wave. So now I'm mad, to be honest. And I wanted to see New Wave make it. So now it's like just a revenge factor for me. I really want to see the Valley just absolutely decimate Group D. And then, you know, even though that they're all fresh, you've seen Mobazane was having a little bit of trouble on the stage and the NACT at the end there. But again, I mean, they have some heavy hitters that have Hoon. Hoon's been it's a lot of tournaments. You know, he's been on the stage, like he has experience, and he's in the mid lane. He's going to be the one rotating to a lot of these side lanes. So I feel like if we have to like look out for someone, it'd probably be like Mobazane and Hoon.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point. I would have to say the most interesting group that I want to see is definitely going to be Group D. Like I said, just watching the Valley kind of compete up against everybody inside of that group is interesting because we want to see kind of where they place that. Like I said, this is 3 members from M3 on their team. Chicken, Shark, Zane, but you still got Hoon and you got Basic, and you don't know how they're going to kind of perform, in a World Series. So I really want to see that, number one. And also, like I said, they're going up against like winners from those domestic type leagues from Argentina, Brazil, and also Malaysia.
Yeah,
So
MPL
I think-
champion, MPL MOE
Yeah.
champion, Team Hawk.
So I think that's definitely going to be interesting to see. But I will say for each group, though, there are fights that I do want to watch. Definitely Blacklist versus Falcon Esports, one of the top of the list for me for sure. Onic versus Todak. That's going to be the most exciting one, probably in Group B. Group C, I mean, I a lot of people are riding behind Echo. I definitely want to see them play too for Group C. Maybe either against, I'd say RQ Hoshi versus Echo for Group C, and then for Group D, I mean that one's kind of hard. I'd probably say the Valley and maybe Team Hack or Team Hawk, either them or RQ Akira. But regardless, in Group D, it's going to be interesting for every single team that the Valley goes against, just to kind of see where we can gauge them from that number 1 spot to the top 16. So,
And for me, I honestly want to see Group D also, but we're going to talk about Group C right now because everyone's talked about Group D. RQ and Echo, honestly, Echo's been one of the strongest teams in PH for a while, and they're coming back this season. With a brand new meta, I really think they could do some damage. And RQ, the biggest fan base in Indo, really like to see those two match up. And also SG, I think it's a new lineup also. I think half the players went to Slate, and RSG is coming in with fire too. So those 3 Asian teams are really going to have a tough bracket. It might even be like a 3-way split or something.
Cowsup, I don't know how up to date you are. If you any input from your side?
Well, see, really, when it comes down to pro play, I only know 2 teams, maybe Blacklist and the Valley. I did know BTK because that's what all my viewers would tell me about.
Yeah.
But what I'm really wondering is how many teams are per region, and why did they get those seeds? So, like in League of Legends, for example, we have 3 from like Korea, 3 from China, 3 from NA. How's it look in Mobile Legends? Sounds like there's a lot of Filipinos.
Essentially, it's 2 PH teams, 2 ID teams, 2 Latam teams, plus a Brazil team, 1 NA team, 1 MENA team. The only regions that got 2 seats were Malaysia, Philippines, ID, and Latam.
So Latin America has a bigger player base than the NA server, or how's that decided?
That is a great question. I would say that that's a great question, Kelsep. One that I ask
Especially
myself
because it
sometimes.
combines Brazil as well, right? That's 3 teams from South America. That'd be like having Canada and 2 NA teams.
I've used that same exact debate myself, wondering.
Is there no
essentially
EU teams?
No EU teams actually. There used to be Navi, which was a Russian CIS team. I think
I
right
know
now,
Navi
or
from
Ukraine
other
team
games.
actually, but with all the stuff going on up there right now, they weren't able to submit anybody, sadly. Which, we saw the same thing last year with Myanmar, right? They weren't able to submit a team because of their government issues and everything. So, but mostly,
Does Turkey count?
Does
Is
Turkey?
Turkey EU?
Turkey is EU, isn't
Turkey
it?
is
They are.
Turkey's
They're here.
so
Yeah.
Turkey's there.
Yeah.
Turkey's there. Just know
So are there wild card regions in Mobile Legends, or is it just everybody's equal?
we were the wild card region last year. I would
say
say.
NA.
I would say NA was, and we
Yeah.
still kind of
Does
are.
NA have a secret slot now?
We get a spot. We'll get a spot every year, I think. And right now, that's the Valley is essentially XBTK. So like, it's we'll see.
So how can EU get a slot? Like, is that ever in the cards, or can they ever get one?
I think they need
Do
more
they have
fresh
any
seats.
tournaments? Do they have like grassroots tournaments or anything?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They do?
There was
I
a
haven't seen
CIS
it.
league. There was, I think, at least 2 major CIS leagues in 2022. So I think it was more of a matter of this year just getting it in time, just setting it up in time. And given what happened earlier this year, with the North, so I guess with CIS being the biggest MLBB region in Europe, it was only Turkey that came through because of what was happening with the CIS. So, yeah. I hope we get more EU. Like that sounds. I hope we can go to 20 when we go into group stage, right? And then go down to
Yeah.
I don't know.
Start with like a 20 or something, and then knock or something. Do like 20 with 5 team. Do 4 groups with 5 in each, and then just knock one out from each one. Something like that. Definitely possible. I mean, when you think about the reality of it is Mobile Legends it's in its baby phases. 4th world tournament. League of Legends has had like 13, 10 or something like that. 10 to 13, right?
I think 13. Yeah,
13?
13.
So I mean, if you compare to the longevity of certain other MOBAs, we are still in the baby phases. We're still in.
I think it has a lot of room to grow for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with what happened with the esports scene for mobile games there, the competitors in NA for the recent news. So I think you're going to see more focus on ML over there.
Man, Cassup coming in with the left swing questions.
Heated.
They're not
Love
good
it.
questions to me because I don't know any better.
I'm just messing with you.
It's necessary questions.
Yeah, it
I
is.
love
Yeah,
it. I
it's
think
good.
these are the kinds of questions that helps grow. So yeah, this is good.
Combat.
All right. Well, for me, I'm most excited to see Group A. I want to see if Blacklist was holding anything back from all the recent games that they've had in recent tournaments. Because there's a lot of rumbles out there about, Blacklist have lost it and they don't fit this meta. But I'm excited to see the Blacklist versus Falcon. I'm very excited to see Team Hawk versus the Valley. Like everyone says, the Valley's got a really easy pool, but Team Hawk seems to have what it takes to put up a challenge. But other than that, I'm an Onyx fan. I'm a big Onyx fan, so I want to see if Onyx can finally take out Todak. If they can beat their Kryptonite. But there's some really good matchups coming up, and I'm really excited to see them all.
I like it. I think for me, Group A, of course, Blacklist versus Falcon, but I feel like Falcon has a lot to prove there. I feel like Blacklist, whether they win or lose that game, it doesn't really mean that much because we've seen them lose in the beginning of tournaments before. I think we'll really get a feel for them in the bracket of whether they're going to do well or not. I mean, if they bomb group stage and lose all their games, then yes. But if they just lose to Falcon, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if Falcon gets slaughtered by Blacklist, then it immediately sets a tone for them and kills a lot of a lot of that hype that's building around Falcon right now, because there's a lot of hype around Falcon. All the casters are like, "Oh, Falcon,
sure.
man, we got to keep our eyes
Yeah.
on Falcon," and it's a lot of pressure, right? It's so if they don't do well in the group stage, I think it can really kill their momentum. Now, Group D, I'm honestly, my eyes are more on Akira and the Valley. I think those are like probably two of the strongest. If you look at all of North America, South Americas, and the Americas, those are the two teams that I have my eyes on. I think Akira could end up being a possible dark horse of this tournament. Could end up being. I mean, I know they're boot camping with other. I'm sure they're boot camping with other RQ, getting tips, getting things like that. You know, combining some metas and things like that. So I think that game will be very hype. Yes, Team Hawk, but honestly, my eyes are more on the Akira and the Valley. S11 may surprise us, but I don't know. The Latam League wasn't like, I watched a lot of it because of New Wave, and S11 did great. Malvinas was kind of like, honestly, they just made it into there, in my opinion. But S11 like did well. We'll see if they can like if they can adapt. But honestly, yeah. And then Echo. I think Echo stomps their group. Not gonna lie. I think Echo does really good. Any last words on that from anybody?
So you're saying you think Echo is going to stomp RQ Hoshi?
Watch him out.
Mirko.
No, you know what? I honestly, unfortunately, I actually agree.
I just
I think looking at their form right now, even RSG could actually like be a threat to RQ.
I think we're going into a direction wherein teams are either underhyped or overhyped.
that's
Yeah.
true.
There may be some like heat checks we need to do when it comes to like judging, especially Group C. I think Group C is deceptively hard to read.
Yeah.
It's true. I just like, I don't know. I think I just want to see Echo do good. Also, like, when I watch the playoffs, that fucking Valier game where they beat Blacklist and everything. Like when
Enjoy it.
and it was just like I really wanted them to win that, and then they didn't. And then so I don't know. I got this gut feeling that they're gonna do pretty well this event. After that, we'll take a quick. Speaking of teams. It doesn't have to be who you think is going to win, but, two favorites right now. Two teams that you guys are cheering for. Let the viewers know who you're going to be rooting on when you're in the crowd, and you're not casting or anything like that. What is, what team are you representing right now as just a viewer, right? As just a lover of Mobile Legends, not anything like that. If you had to pick, 1, 2, or 3 teams. This time we'll start from the bottom. We'll ask Combat Cat.
So I think the two teams that I'm like rooting on, going for are Onic and the Valley. They're my two teams. But like, I think with the recent changes to the meta, Echo is like, they're definitely one of the most dangerous teams with all the flashy tanks now. Yaoi can play. The changes to the bush with the, you can't hear anything in the bush. I watched Mirko's video, and like you can have set up tanks in the bush. You can have Kufra setting up, ready to take out the whole team. But yeah, so they're my two teams with Echo thrown in there.
I like it.
I guess that's me, huh? Well, as I mentioned, I only really know 2 teams, but I've been a fan of Mobazane since I started, right? So I like to see them do well, especially because NA seems to be an underrepresented region, and it'd be really beneficial to have NA do well in a tournament like this, and it'd bring a lot more interest to the game. So I think a lot rides on that team doing well.
Mobazane's a good guy to cheer on, man. I mean, he's
Yeah,
proved himself
he's really
thus
great,
far,
and
so
yeah,
he's not
a content creator too.
Sure. Boca?
I think I would go with obviously the Valley and then maybe Blacklist just to see them reign supreme again. It'd be cool to see someone win back to back, but obviously I want I want to see every single region strive, and especially NA. Like, this is again our third time in a World Series. M4, like it's our time to really show what we got. So let's go to the Valley and then maybe see Blacklist. If not the Valley, Blacklist reign supreme 2 times in a row. So
Yeah, I would probably the Valley. I want to see it. I'm a North American influencer and a caster, and it would literally set us on top and make us like be something that we all want to be, right? All of us content creators. It would help us, you know. And it would be really cool to actually bring home a ring. Like that's insane. First ever M4 rings. Like what? That would be crazy. My second would definitely be Echo. I just like their spaz because like when we were looking at the videos, the introduction to M4 that they just released not too long ago, you could just see it on a lot of Echo. Their team, they're hyped, they're ready. All of them, I don't know what G Fuel or what energy drink they had, but my God, they're bouncing off the walls. So I hope that just put that energy into their hands and they get it done.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I like to harp on the Valley as well. I mean, being North America and also a caster, we've kind of seen them along their journey for the revamp from BTK to the Valley. And then also, like we said, from a personal experience as a streamer, I just want to see them win so that when people comment on my stream and say, try that in the Philippines, bro, I'll be like, no, try that in North America, bro. You know, that's I'm waiting to use that line, and I need the Valley.
Been waiting a long time.
That, you know, I think we've all been waiting. I know every
like
single North
dusting it
American
off.
content creator, even Calcit probably sees that when he streams.
Dude, I'm actually playing in the Philippines server now, so
Oh,
they
okay.
stopped telling me. Because every time I did anything, they said it would be harder in the Philippines. Your region is just so bad. And I'll be like, dude, I'm playing in the Philippines right now. Oh. It's like,
Wheezy's waiting to jump into Mirko's stream like, man, Indo server's trash, bro. He's just waiting for the moment or one day.
Dude, I'm just gonna side note on that. People were telling me the same thing when I was doing climbing on Gourd. They're like, play Gourd in the Philippines, bro. I was like, I am actually living in the Philippines playing Gourd.
And then Indian chat just says Filipino bad word. Like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
That's probably like the most used line in Mobile Legends is try that in the Philippines. You know,
True.
Every
That's what they
comment
say to
section.
tourists too. Try that in the Philippines.
they need to make a commercial for that. You know.
Try that in the Philippines.
Aside from them, though, I think the second team I'd vote for would be Onic. I think they're pretty good, especially with like the assassins kind of coming back on par. You got Kyrie over there dominating the flashy tanks as well. You know, Keyboy, definitely one of the best roams out there. And if anybody can take it, I think it's them. Especially with like recent patches with everything on kind of prioritizing the gold lane a lot more. Like those that can play those flashier assassins, those high-level assassins might have an easier time because they can put more presence on that gold lane in the early phase of things, which will help out a lot. And I think it'll be maybe a little harder for those who play more of the roam, like or more of the beefier side of jungles like Wise. So definitely gonna be voting more on the side of Onic, if not the Valley.
And for me, I think Onic is going to be my number one favorite. Honestly, having a import from the Philippines into a Indonesian team, having that import influence, it really brings like two different types of like hard meta together into one team. And for them to like make it work and succeed in the MPL, like it's beautiful. It's a fairy tale for Onyx. So I really think Onyx is going to take this one. My second team is Blacklist. Of course, the Venus, the Y synergy. I know, Assassins are coming back in style, but the tank jungles, the objective game focus, the shot calling, the synergy, the Ube strategy, like they got it all. It's super hyped over there. But my very close third dark host has to be the Valley. Go with the Valley, dude. They got Movazane, they got the best junglers of North America, best tanks. They pretty much got an all-star team. So also rooting for the Valley here.
Well, for me as an Indonesian, obviously, like who I'm rooting for, Deep down, it's always going to be the Indonesian teams, right? Onyx, RRQ. But honestly, if I like, as a fan right now, I'm actually like rooting for Falcon, either Falcon, Akira, or Valley. Yeah, those three teams. I want to see the regions from Myanmar, from NA, and from Brazil perform on the world stage. So again, to develop the other leagues and to just bring some more eyes over to that region. So yeah, for me, I'm looking at Falcon the most though, because I think they have the biggest chance to actually take it from these three teams, in my opinion, from their play style. And I've said this, I think, but in MSC, I feel like that Falcon, the Falcon that we saw at MSC, was the weakest version of Falcon, where Ken can't play assassins, where Ken has to like play these utility junglers. And now that he has some time to shine on the assassins, I think he's gonna pop off.
Yeah. So I don't know why it just now clicked, but I agree that maybe the Falcon at MSC wasn't full power Falcon. I think Kingdom Falcon was like their warm up to the peak Falcon. Like they're gonna climax at M4. Anyways,
Climax.
yeah. At M4, there's a lot that we can look forward to. And again, you can think about this in many different ways, like as a fan, as a caster, as like Filipino or like wherever we're from. But just in my heart of hearts, I think I want to see Echo do well because there are like so many stories there. And I think I agree with G. It's like you just see the team and they're like, yeah, that's an esports athlete team. Like that's like you just see like a 14-year-old kid watching from the stands. I want to be like Carl Teasy. I want to be like Sanji and Sanford. They're like 15 years old. Like I want to be like that. So I want to live through them. So that's Echo. And yeah, dude, I don't know why. Like part of it is a joke. Like yeah, I'm RRQ Hoshi, but I want to feel like an RRQ Hoshi fan because I hear the stands go crazy when RRQ Hoshi does well. So I just want to be like in that. I want to be part of that and see what that looks like and what it feels like. So yeah, just to answer like the two questions, like two teams, Echo RRQ.
I think I definitely think like whenever I watch any kind of MPL, whether it's ID or PH, like the RQ fans from from ID are definitely hype. Like
That's the X factor.
There are definitely
That's the X factor, man.
just like it reminds me of like like football stadiums, like getting loud so that they can't huddle right. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like
the home crowd advantage is definitely like an advantage for RRQ, especially. Onyx also, but RRQ, man, the fans, RRQ fans are, man, they're something else, man.
The fact that it's not even like, and they haven't taken an M series and they haven't, like things like that, but they're still like, they have this huge fan base and like, they're still they have such support behind them to where like some other teams, they lose, if they get knocked out a little too early, sometimes people are like, yep, see you later, bro, I'm out of here. But like, they definitely have some diehard fans over there. Naisu?
So for me, I'm almost pretty much aligned here, like with Mirko, but I've been rooting for Falcon as well after I saw them with MSC and then heard like their story. I think that's one of the biggest things. But like if I had to choose like as a caster and as a viewer, it would also have Onyx Esports possibly, at least be in the grand finals and see what happens there. Because even before I got into even casting, the first person that I really like admired as a jungler, or even just as a player, I guess as a player as a whole, was Kyrie. Like I loved watching Kyrie. And so I want to see how that happens for him here in Onyx Esports. Other than that, being a part of the journey for BDK, the Valley, also being from NA, but just being half Filipino, I have been very vocal about how much I've been rooting for NA to even have like somewhat of a league over there. And it's been something I've been saying ever since I got into casting. So seeing everything kind of like fall into place, the first time I saw like Trex, you doing stuff, and I was like, oh dude, at least there's people in NA actually creating content. And then that's when I found like more of you guys. Yeah, like because I, as someone who moved from NA to the Philippines, started streaming in the Philippines, and then thinking like they should start doing this stuff in NA, and then seeing it actually happen, and then also being a part of it as a caster for NACT was It's been really enjoyable. So like, even when BTK came up for M3, I was naturally rooting for them just because I want more exposure for NA. And then now you have the Valley, and which honestly I feel like the Valley, especially given the situation where they've been here for a while now practicing, I think they do have potential to go far. Can they win it all? I don't know, right? We'll have to see. But if I had to choose a Philippine team too, of course, rooting for the Philippines still. Echo, same thing with Leo. Like Echo has such an interesting story, dude, from like their first season when they came in and everybody built them up as a super team, and then you see them like kind of fall short a little bit, and then they come back and they're like the San duo, like what Leo was saying, and then of course Carl Teasy back on the world stage. So honestly, all these teams have really good narratives, but those would have to be at least like my three going into it.
Oh yeah. Personally, I'm gonna be cheering for Occupy Thrones, Incendio, and MDH. Man, they got this. No, but I like as a fan, and I think even as a caster. I just want to see everyone's facial reactions.
I believe you.
Nothing wrong with you.
As a fan, like I don't know. For me and as a caster, I think like the most hype games are upset games, right? The most hype games, like the most for me, and I think it's just maybe because like coming from the NA side of things where like we haven't had any of these long seasoned teams that we've grown to a passion for, that we've gotten huge fan bases. Of course there's, Mobazane, the Valley, BTK, and like over the past year, like there are some teams that I like over here, but there aren't that many representatives over there. So like for me, what's always hype is when some team that we all thought was going to win is losing to someone we never thought was going to be able to do it. Those are the moments when I'm like on the edge of my seat and I'm like, oh, holy crap, like they're doing this. And I do think that is like possible this M series. I think like I don't think any team has like 100% chance to take it all. I don't think any team has like a 80% chance to take it all. I think like every team is on the chopping block this time. Of course, I would love to see the Valley do great. I think they can make it to top 4 possibly. If I had to pick someone else though, because like outside of NA, like I said, I like Echo. It's a team that I've just kind of chosen to be.
What just happened?
Sorry, dude.
Leo, move like that.
I've never seen him move
It's like tumbling over here.
What? No, what are you talking about? No, I was just walking, dude.
But also,
It was like the Beatrix flip, dude. Sorry.
the slide. I would like to see one of the South America teams do well. I think I'd like to see Akira or S11 do well, like at least make it to top 8, maybe top 4, like really just shake something, maybe knock out a big team, kind of pull a BTK of last year, like do something big in the upper bracket. Those are some of the teams I have my eyes on. I feel like no matter what, we know Onyx going to do well. We know either Echo or Blacklist are going to do well. I can't guarantee both of them, but I think one of them will at least do very well. So my eyes are really on some of like the fresher teams, I'm hoping that some of the weaker, quote unquote weaker teams like show off. I want things to be fresh. I want things to be shaken up. I want M4 to just the table to be flipped. Like just none of us know what's going on.
I agree with that as long as they don't take out the Valley, then we're good.
Okay. Trex, would you flip a table if it was Incendio, MDH, or Occupy Thrones that came out as a dark horse this year?
That I would flip a table. You'll listen if it happens.
I'll help you.
We will both. I'm running. Whoever's casted in the finals or the top 4, man, I'm gonna run up there and just try to flip the desk. Security will be pulling me off. All right. What else do we got? All right. Since we were talking about dark horse,
question actually. Can I like just shoot a question here? Yeah. Can I just ask a question? Like, because most of the NA talents and most of the NA KOLs, you guys really like the Valley, right? So I just have a question. Do you think the BTK roster is stronger, or do you think the Valley roster is stronger?
Can I take this one? I
Go
think
ahead.
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
I think the Valley's stronger.
Valley?
And I think the Valley is stronger. And the reason being, you have 3 members of BTK, right? Zane, Chicken, and Shark, who are definitely better players. Like, we can't say they got weaker in the past year. They've all expanded their hero pool, their maturity, their game knowledge, everything. I would put them almost as doubled their skill level in a sense. Like, I think all of them have really just pushed past a limit of what I thought they were capable of, right? And hero pool, like, Zane was a marksman jungler. The man has been doing tank jungle all year, picking up all types of crazy things. Chicken is playing Grok off lane and all types of crazy things. Shark switching things up. Then we have Hoon, who has world experience, right? Like, he's been on the world stage for another game, so he's not going to have any jitters. He's not going to be kind of shaky like Zia was in the beginning. And Zia wasn't even part of their main lineup for qualifiers. Zia was a sub-in. So that's like, I definitely put Hoon above Zia in the mid lane. And then you have Basic, who a lot of people put him, like, if you ask the average NA fan, they put Basic as the weakest link on the team. I still have to say that he has stage experience. He has some of that comfortability, and I think he's solid. I don't think he's the craziest gold laner in the world. He's not a Kelra or anything like that, but he's solid, and I think the rest of the team can work around that, right? I think the rest of the team, I think he can stalemate in a 1v1 in the gold lane. I don't think he's going to be getting kills against every other gold laner, but I think he can stalemate it out until they need to get where they need to be. So, like, I just don't think there's really a debate on, like my question is, like, how is BTK stronger than the Valley? You know, like, just synergy? Synergy?
I've got a point. Like one case to make for BTK was Cardi. So, like, when Zane played those weaker junglers, Cardi was always like the proxy tank for him. It's like, he'll do his job, he'll push his lane, but when the team is off doing their thing, Cardi will go and be that proxy tank while Shark's helping the marksman. So that's my only, like, point for the BTK in this argument, like, sort of thing. But yeah,
Chicken's a better EXP.
I still think
I hate to say it, but Chicken's a better EXP.
He's a okay. I don't know who's a better EXP out of those two, but who's a better proxy tank for Zane and who has more synergy with Zane in that sense, I would say Cardi does.
Yeah.
So, like, at any given moment, Cardi knows what Zane wants to do.
Yeah, he's in his head.
And, like, you've seen when Chicken first jumped into the EXP lane, they were like lacking a little bit of synergy. But it's up for debate who's a better EXP laner in that sense.
I think in the early stages, the Valley definitely lacks synergy hard, and we could tell it. Like, we seen it in the NASL at the end. Like, I mean, they were lacking it. You could definitely tell the rotations were off. You could just tell that the communication wasn't there. But they've expanded and have gotten better. T-Rex said it. Chicken going to the XP lane, absolutely amazing. Made some insane plays. I think their biggest downfall is that sometimes they like to troll, and I see that they do that a lot in NA. And it could just be because NA they're trying to state their claim that, like, no one else is better than them. But I hope that they don't take that flaw and then bring it to a world scene. Like, it's always going to be there. I hope they fine tune that and get that out of there, because always in the back of the head, it could be Shark, trying to make a weird play. I've heard it. I've heard Mobazane state that, like, Shark, like, why are you going this? And then he goes it anyways. And, like, Mobazane was like, I should have just forced him to do what I wanted, So I hope a lot of those rough edges get sanded down, fine-tuned. Them being there practicing in Jakarta Indo right now, I've heard good things. My channel, my fans, my community, they've definitely said that they're doing good. But again, I want to see what they can do on the world stage. I think it's going to definitely come down to that.
Okay, so given what G has said, that's just one aspect of what we know about the Valley. And I'm sure at this point, there's like 15, 20 different angles and like bits of input and output from all around the community about the Valley, right?
Hold on one second.
Limelight on the
Nice.
Valley.
Can you mute while Leo's talking? Just because I'm catching.
Mm.
I can just talk through him. Never mind. All right. So it's safe to say we know a lot about the Valley, right? Like we it's almost like a reality TV show. What's happening at the Valley Boot Camp? That is one argument I have for BTK. One of the main strengths they had going into M3, and that's why they shocked us there, was because no one knew what was up with BTK.
Agreed.
So when people went up against them, they're like, "Oh no, it's just this NA team. They're the best in NA, but can they step up to us?" There might have been like some guard being let down there, and they're like, "Whoa, they're stronger than we expected." Boom, blacklist in the lower bracket, right? So now that the Valley is stronger on paper, what if teams now prepare for them, given that they're a more out there team now? You know, so there's that one thing, that the one thing, like. It's one thing to say that the team is stronger themselves, but what about the field they're in? What about the atmosphere around them? That's one thing I think we have to consider and think about when you're looking at the Valley at M4.
It's like the question: are they the dark horse again? I feel like that is the question. Are then?
I think it's
Leo said it best.
Yep.
I think it's RRQ Akira, dude. They're like,
Yeah.
I think they're probably the new like what BTK was in M3. I think people will be surprised with Akira.
Agreed.
Speaking of dark horses,
After hearing what they have to offer, dude. Yeah. Like in scrims, RQ Akira have been popping off, I've heard. And Louise has been like the main star.
Yeah.
I can't wait for like RRQ Akira to just perform, and then I'm gonna be so Brazilian, dude.
I'm gonna be...
I'll just pick up on my Portuguese, dude. Like, what's up, my irmãos? You know.
Have you guys ever listened to the Brazil and the Latam casters over there, man? They are hype.
So hype.
Yeah.
I did hear him. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I was watching Latam Super League on my phone at work after a shift one day, and one of the girls comes up and goes, "Are you listening to a soccer game right now? What's going on?"
Yeah.
I don't know what's crazier, the Brazilian Portuguese stream or the what is that? The Khmer stream, the Cambodian MPL Cambodian stream. Like those guys just go off.
Have you heard the Turkish casters, dude?
They're like,
Sound like Greek gods, bro.
they sound like they're smoking a pack while they're casting.
Oh wow!
So basically, like two Naisus, right?
Too nice. Man.
Whew. Getting hot. Any other possible dark horses that anyone thinks are going to come in? Like any other hot takes on teams possibly? Like, do we think
Burn.
Incendio? Like they got Incendio's got a Filipino coach, right?
Yeah.
Do we think like
Oh, Incendio?
yeah, they got a PH coach imported over there.
Yeah.
It was like recent, right? Wasn't it?
Oh.
Like last minute.
A month ago, less than.
I think the dark horse that everyone has been hyping up has been Burn, right? Burn X Flash. I guess that's the only other dark horse in my book. I don't know the roster is going to be playing because I heard that with their new jungler, I think with MP the King as their jungler. I think it's MP the King, right? They're going to be better because in MPLI they used like their secondary jungler, and I wasn't really too impressed with their performance at MPLI.
Yeah. Short to say, people hated the MPLA jungler.
Yeah, there were a lot of like blunders, but first international stage, right? For any player, it's a lot of pressure to deal with.
Any overrated teams you guys think are gonna not do well? Any teams you guys think are gonna like that maybe may not make it a top 4 that are predicted to, may not make it a top 8? Anyone you think you might blunder or something like that?
Wait, did we miss out on underrated teams?
Underrated?
Was that underrated? The one we were talking about prior?
Kind of. We were talking about
Or
dark
dark
horses.
horses?
Yeah.
You got an underrated team.
Yeah, kind of like
Throw-
underrated
throw it
dark
out.
horse.
Team Hawk.
Team Hawk?
Yeah, I think
we
Team
leave it
Hawks.
with Team Hawk.
Oh.
There's a reason why they're MPL champions.
Oh.
They're the reason why they took down Todak, and Todak is super volatile. So I think
Didn't
that's something we should
didn't
watch
they
out
win
for.
the qualifiers to get to MPL this year too? Like they weren't
Yes.
like they're not like a big franchise team or anything, right? Like they got in.
The story of Team Hawk is a majority of their players were loners from Orange.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're basically not a new team. So their track record is pretty solid. It's just that, again, you can look at it as they came out of qualifiers, but no, they're a team that we know of. It's Min and Man and Gary, and then these two other dudes.
Gary,
Sorry,
man,
I need to get used to their names. Panda and Lola. There, see? So they're super strong. I think they're clean for a Malaysian team, right? And that's saying something when you have a team like Todak that they came in with. So yeah.
I actually have like the opposite opinion, dude. I think Hawk's gonna flop.
Whoa.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, looking at their MPLI performance and just looking at the team, based on what I've heard from like the scrims and stuff, I think they're like really struggling. Like they were struggling in MPLI with the new patch, with the new meta, and now with another big patch, another big meta change, I think they're gonna struggle a bit more. I think they're like having trouble getting in and fitting into the meta. So I think Hawk might be like, they might actually like, I wouldn't say. They wouldn't be in the bottom of the groups, but I think they're going to be the ones knocked down to the lower brackets. I think Akira and Valley gets out.
Spicy.
The question I have is, does Todak take it? Like, been in every single World Series. Like,
What caster put
do
Todak
something.
as the win? I forget. Was it Gideon? Was it LaFell? One of them put Todak
LaFell, I
as
think.
LaFell. LaFell put Todak as the win. Spicy.
But I
like
do
reaching
think
for the
Todak
heights.
is going to perform better than Hawk at M4.
Anyone else?
I think unpopular opinion. I think ROQ Hoshi are gonna underperform.
Ooh.
Oh,
Uh,
snap.
Yes.
Spicy.
I
They're gonna
kind
get you
of.
checked at the airport, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into
You sure you want to say it?
But like Mirko,
No,
aren't they like
I'm-
known to kind of like? I mean, haven't they like whiffed a few times in finals and like?
Yeah.
Just they seem to
Yeah.
win.
MSC.
They seem
MSC.
to.
Unfortunately, that's the
Win.
meme, right? Unfortunately, that's the meme. Yeah, MSC, M3. Unfortunately, that is like, even in MPL ID, yeah, there are a few times where like again, the pressure and the support from the fans is a double-edged sword for RRQ. I feel like in a lot of these tournaments, right? Especially in MPL ID, when they were up against Evos, I think this was in season 9. Evos were definitely like the heavy underdogs, man. No one expected them to win against the season 9 RQ, right? But with the fans all yelling, RQ just went. I guess they got too hyped and they kept on going in for fights, and Evos were able to turn the tables and they were able to reverse sweep RQ. So things like that, you know, RQ sometimes they get too hyped with the way they're winning, even the way they're dominating the game, and they lose that lead. But with Arcadia, I do feel like actually they might refine that. They might actually fix that. We just haven't seen it yet, unfortunately, in season 10 and in MPLI. MPLI they didn't even participate, but in PL President even we didn't see it.
Any thoughts from Yue, Wheezy, Boca, G?
I got a question. Like, so what out of all these teams competing, if you guys had to pick like the most intense matchup, what two teams would you guys be looking forward to in M4?
Well,
Any
for
team
me,
or in the groups?
No, after groups. Yeah, after groups.
Like finals.
Well, for groups, or after groups.
Yeah,
I
after
mean,
groups.
Just
Yeah.
any two teams, right? Like if you could.
Any
Probably
two
in, like,
teams.
the-
Yeah.
Probably in the upper bracket, you're probably going to see like Blacklist, Onyx, RQ, the Valley. But I feel like if RQ comes out on top in his bracket, and RQ Akari comes out on top. I want to see RQ versus RQ for first round. or something. I think they always would like to do these things where they knock the same teams down. So you know that they'll see each other at the end. So I think those two teams will be very intense. And you know, what if the Brazilian wins? It'd be a very spicy match right there, right?
That would result in very confused RQ fans. Like, so we can't kick him out of our country, can we?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
Oh man, I think for me it's definitely like, obviously we're rooting for the underdogs, right? Obviously you want the underdogs to really perform, but I think for the best grand finals in terms of like match quality, I think it's Onyx Echo, man. I think I want to see that happen, right?
Oh,
Onyx
yeah.
Echo, the best two
Flat
teams
same.
in my opinion right now. For them to see two teams at their peak go up against each other at the World Championship grand final, man, I think that's the one I want to watch. That's the one I want to see.
I have 3 matches,
Mm.
and they're all Blacklist. Blacklist Onyx, Blacklist RRQ, and Blacklist the Valley. Those are all possible 7-game series.
No Blacklist Echo?
Blacklist Echo was a 6-game series. We already saw that, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Nice to just say, I'm not sure if it picked up on my tiny microphone. He personally does not want to see Blacklist Echo. And as much as I would love a Filipino versus Filipino grand finals, I agree. Like, just as a desire, if I'm allowed to be selfish, if we're allowed to be selfish, that might not be the best idea. So yeah, those are my 3 picks. Blacklist Onyx, Blacklist BTK, Blacklist. Oh, sorry, Blacklist Valley, and Blacklist Old Habit. Blacklist. What was that one? Blacklist RQ. There you go.
If we want like a guaranteed full house, Blacklist RQ, dude.
Onyx Echo.
I think
I say Onyx Echo too.
Onyx Echo.
Onyx Echo.
Yeah.
Same.
Onyx Echo, yeah.
Echo RQ might be a super loud room. That would
Oh,
bring
yeah.
down also.
I think like
If RQ
upper
makes it to the grand
bracket,
finals, full house.
upper bracket, what would be super exciting, and it's possible to happen the way the group stages. I was doing like false brackets. Would be honestly, yeah, Blacklist Valley again. Upper bracket would just be epic, right? Like, and it's possible to happen
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
because I
I'm
think
waiting for
first
that,
place
yeah.
D can go against second place A in the very bottom spot or something like that. So like, if it falls right, it could happen again, and that would just like the revenge match, you know, like it's just there's story behind that. I feel like so it would definitely be epic. Definitely want 2 separate regions though in finals, right? Like.
What if the
Definitely-
Valley makes it to the grand finals?
Who
Who
do I
would you
want
want
them
to
to
see them play?
face? MDH, bro.
I swear to God. You're not allowed to get nominated. They're not letting you in.
No,
Live from the bathroom,
no.
by the way.
No, like if the Valley was in the finals, I think just about anybody, man. Like, I think it would be epic to have like Falcon Valley in finals, like 2 like more of like not S+ tier teams in the finals against each
Yeah,
other.
that'd be
Something
fire.
like that would definitely be epic. There wouldn't be that much of a full house, but but no, I think like that would be dope. I'd be worried. I think Onyx, being how strong they are and just how deep they are, like also my eyes are on them. What 51 unique heroes in there in MPL, like they're just a lot of levels. So like I don't know if the Valley. I think the Valley can beat certain teams, but they also have a lot of kryptonites, and I don't know if they're going to be able to handle Onyx ID finals. I think that's the way this whole M series is kind of going to go. I think Onyx can lose to some teams. I think they can dog wash a lot of teams. I think Blacklist can win against some teams. I think they're going to get stomped by other teams. Like, I think it's going to be really just depending on who faces up against who meets their kryptonite at the wrong time and gets knocked out, you know. How was the bathroom, Leo?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm excited for you to experience it. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, dude. The seats are heated, right? Those are
What?
Yeah.
The seat,
Are there bidets?
the seats have as much
The days.
RAM power as a smartphone.
Is there like a
So-
is there a USB plug
Dude,
in the
it's
bottom
like
of it or something, bro?
Yeah. It's got like 2 USB-Cs. It's got like an i5, and it's like 16 gigs of RAM, dude. I'm sure it's pretty-
60 gigs.
Oh, 60
Yeah,
gigs
I
of RAM?
stayed there.
Oh man.
I stayed there for like during quarantine after getting back from M3. Dude, that it's so dope, man. The heated
Yeah.
heated toilet is amazing.
We have a tub and a shower, by the way.
Ooh, so you both can be in there.
Exactly.
That's first thought. Yeah.
Cowsup, any more?
Also, Trex,
Any,
you're rooming with Dave, right?
I'm rooming with Dave. Yes.
Okay, so if you guys wake up at like 10 minutes before call time, you're fine. Like you guys can just shower.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Cowsup, any questions from you, man? I know you had some good questions earlier. Any feel free to-
No,
to
no.
pick brains
I don't
or-
really have anything to contribute on this matter because I don't know much about it.
Anyone else got any hot questions? Feel free to
All right,
also
well-
chat if there's anyone that wants to drop anything or ask anyone personally. Feel free to ask.
Is
Oh,
you
Or-
gonna drop some fire?
Yes. For me, I feel like this might get some people upset, but why is Echo good?
Ooh.
Because I've looked at their track records before, and I don't think they've been super consistent all the way up to this MPL. And they came out of nowhere, right? We were talking about like I think RSGPH being on top of last season with Blacklist and like destroying everyone. With like the Esmeralda and the Karina. But like, when I was watching Echo, like I know Yaoi has a really good Chow, but is that really going to take them into like, the top 4 maybe? Like maybe one of the PH people can answer. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
He's ready, dude. He's ready.
He's ready.
Oh, you muted for me. Okay, all right, cool. All right. True gentleman. Anyways, okay. So I think the reason why Echo is so good is because they are the opposite of Blacklist and RSG, right? You put it the best way. It's like, no, Philippines is dominated like in the past 6 to 9 months by teams like Blacklist and RSG. How come it's Echo now? It's because they're amazing for a completely different reason. It's because they are volatile. They are explosive. And those are things you do not say about RSG and Blacklist, right? RSG Blacklist, you know what's up. You know in the first 5 minutes is what they're doing, 10 minutes is what they're doing, 15, if you get there, you're dead. But for Echo, it's like, how are they still in this? Like they got dropped by Blacklist the first couple of games, and then the next thing's like, they're close to match point. How is this happening? This is the grand finals, by the way. So it's that exact reason why I think Echo is so good right now, and that's why they came up in the last season. As well, you brought up the whole Cho thing. Blacklist thought the same thing. Coach Bon and Coach Master the Basics were like, get rid of the Cho. Don't give it to Yaoi. Yeah, then he brings out the Valier and the Jawhead. Now what? So there's always like an X factor in all the roles, right? In all the roles. Benny, Sanji, Carl, Sanford, and Yaoi. Like they're all like super deep. They're deeper than what people expect. So I think that's another reason why they're so strong is because they look like kids. They when you look at them, right, they're just like 17-year-old ML prodigies, and they're like, they just beat us, right? So they're the complete opposite of Blacklist, and I think that's what made them shine in the PH meta.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with the current meta too, right? Like Echo, I think if it wasn't for this current meta, I would still be putting like Blacklist as like one of the top teams, maybe top 2 with Onyx. But because of this current meta, it really it feels like it's shaped for like Echo and Onyx, for RQ as well, technically because of all these assassins and all these like crazy bursts. Yeah, but Echo, Yaoi's gonna pop off for sure.
So you think like
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
championship match, like the drafters are going to be drafting like assassin jungles and like set roamers instead of like focusing on like Kadita or like even like a Valor roam with a tanky jungler.
Yeah.
You think that's what's going to happen?
I think that's a big possibility, especially
very
with
careful.
what Mirko just
Go
said.
ahead.
Like the meta, right? The meta is shaped for them. I think too the fact that they had they have Carl Teasy, who was once like the prodigy, like this young prodigy, who now has all this veteran experience, and then you take in the San duo, Sanji and Sanford, and when they actually during the MPL when they had their opportunity to like step up, and then you
There's
saw
someone
them like
talking. I can't
develop.
hear anything. But
Oh, can you not hear me?
We can
No,
hear
no,
you.
we can hear.
I can hear
Oh,
you.
wait.
okay.
You guys can hear me?
Because
Okay.
like
Yeah.
you know, if we're talking about like meta shifts, right? You know, with the Croatian side, with the new changes that are coming in, you know, tanky junglers are getting like outskilled. They're just getting out farmed, out damaged, right? Are we gonna see like, you know, maybe marksman's in the jungle, maybe like the Ling and the Lance that comes back in the jungle, with like, you know, a big front line in the roam position, or are we gonna see, you know, like the blacklist style that's gonna come back, you know, with tanky junglers, you know, objective focus, like an Akai or Fredrin in the jungle, you know, with like a Selena roam or like light roamers. You know,
Can you hear me now?
That's kind of the question that I've been asked, and the meta
can hear you.
shifted.
Okay,
Can-
I'm not sure if he can hear me because I want to answer his question.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me, bro?
I don't think so.
No, he
I
can't
don't
Can
think
you
he can
hear
hear me.
anybody? Yue, can you
Yue,
hear
I
anybody?
can-
Yeah. Maybe he's.
I don't know
muted.
where Nice went. I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, I don't.
Round
I don't
table
see
to
my
you,
screen
eh?
on my side
Round
as
table
well.
to you.
All right.
Round table to you, way.
I mean, if we want, we can all mute in the video and just unmute in Discord. That would work as well. But or nice.
Yeah,
I just want to answer it like
you can
this.
Listen, if
just
he can hear
unmute in
Leo, he can just
Discord.
walk over to.
Yeah,
I
can you hear Leo, bro?
I don't know what happened
All
to
right.
Nice so much.
Can you hear
I'm
me?
sorry.
Can you hear Leo?
I can hear Leo.
Yo,
Yeah,
you and I have a connection, dude.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How about now, bro? How about now?
Yes, I can.
Pass the mic.
There we go.
No. Yeah, pass the mic. Just answer the question. Let me mute my mic so it doesn't pick up. But basically, the way that the meta
You
is
gotta
pretty
get
much
closer.
shifted right now.
Get closer.
Get
Sorry.
closer to the
how about
mic.
There you go.
Thank
How
you.
about now?
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Better.
So the way that the meta is shifted right now really complements Echo's playstyle, and specifically about Yaoi on these roaming picks. The roam in the mid is going to be super important going into M4, and about junglers specifically, someone like Carl Teasy playing assassins is going to just profit them really, really well. But at the same time, there's still room for junglers to opt for those tanky, objective-based playstyles, which Carl Teasy had to do at one point. Like, he had to literally adapt to that meta before. I mean, most junglers did. So now you have the option to pretty much do like Barrett's jungle, just securing the retro battle for turtles and lords, and using that ultimate for CC immune, right? So like the playstyle right now really favors Echo. I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
Let me
I
figure out
think
my
for
mic, by
me,
the way.
I think for me, if you take a look at like this meta right now, it is the most open meta
Yeah.
and the most flexible meta I think we've ever seen in MLBB. And I think, sure, like the heroes and obviously the playstyle, it favors like Echo, Onyx, these aggressive teams. But I think in the drafts, it's going to be very important too. Again, how you're able to flex these picks, how you're able to just play around these picks is going to be very important because again, it's the most open meta we've ever seen in MLBB. It's the most flexible meta, and I think that's why I'm hyping up Onyx so much, you know, because I know they can do that. They have been doing that for so long, even without the flexible meta.
All right, from one hot take to another. All right, just to echo, not the team, but just to double down on Trex's love for these teams. What are we expecting from like the likes of MDH, Incendio, and Occupy?
Who
Right? Like,
knows?
that's a legit question. Like, what if, right? I just don't want to be, I just don't want to be out there like when they win certain games, right? Like, so what if?
So like, MDH didn't like they didn't wow me in ISF, but their whole team's it's not their whole team, right? It's just he and Nart or something. Maybe that's the other team. That's I got a little confused with the ISF crossover because it's Vietnam and this, but they didn't like super wow me. I mean, of course, anything can happen, right? Incendio, again, I think like MDH we have a bit more information on, right? So they're not. I honestly I don't think they're gonna I don't think they can make it to top 8. Incendio, though, and Occupy Thrones, we don't have as much information on, right? They could be one of those dark horse teams. And like we said, the PH coach over on Incendio, if they're boot camping, and as to echo what Mirko said, the fact that the meta is so open right now, the fact that it's not just like, all right, if you can't play this, you're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? If you can draft right and know the team you're going against, and if you don't want to deal with assassins, then you take out the Ling and the Lance, right? You take out the Fanny, the Lance, and now it's going to be a different game. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you can pull that off, then I do believe any of these teams could maybe shake things up a little bit. But it's going to come down to how. I think all of them are skilled to make it here, but how well are they going to draft when it comes down to it, And that's some of the things I saw wrong with, like, Malvinas and some of these other teams when I watched some of their stuff, is, like, their drafting was a little off. Like, they'd go into Game 2 when they just got completely destroyed by something and still not ban it. They just get stuck on something, and it's like, what are you doing, So if they can get the draft down, then maybe they make it up.
From what I've seen, like of MDH, I feel like they're a bit one-dimensional. I think I put like Incendio, MDH, and Malvinas and Occupy Thrones, all 4 of those teams on in the C tier of my power rankings, is because I feel like they're mostly all very one-dimensional. MDH plays to the late game. They draft for the late game, and they completely just turtle before that. So if they can get to the late game, they can be competitive, just like in ISF up against Todak, right? Up against Malaysia. They were able to take it to the late game, and that's why it got close.
I mean, one thing that kind of stuck out to me was Occupy. Like, their coach is the coach that was Navi. It was Navi's coach.
Yeah.
War Barbie?
So, yeah, War Barbie is their coach. Just joined. Pretty interesting. I feel like if something's gonna give a little bit of an insight to have a little bit of a higher role into like a world tournaments, that could be their key factor for their team, like having someone that's been there, done that, has the knowledge. What they placed like 7th and 8th, so I mean they have someone that has the knowledge, so it just more the team has to bring it to the table.
Boca,
I
Weezy.
don't know if this is right, but my chat is saying like War Barbie can't fly to Jakarta for M4 because of the problems.
I was wondering about that too. I seen that, I was like, wait a second, how? Maybe his nationality was Ukraine, but maybe he didn't live there, so I wasn't.
The question is, how long did War Barbie work with Occupy Thrones before switching to this PH team, to this PH Filipino in the team, PH coach? Because there's only so much you can do in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And this coach, as much as I appreciate him and invest in the fact that he came from the Philippines, which is a very healthy MLBB community, I haven't heard much of. You know what I mean? Like, not to put anyone down, but
yeah,
like, where did Coach Mundo come from? I know, I can answer that question. It's an amateur team that's been around for a while, but
it's never.
How much can he really help? Like I'm erring on the side of conservative rather than optimistic here. So.
How important is a coach in MLBB? And does Valley have one?
Nope.
No.
Well, maybe.
Do they?
We'll see soon.
If you see Dave running back and forth from the caster desk, you'll know if they have a coach.
So does every good team have a coach in MLBB?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coach,
Okay,
yes.
so analysis. They have 2 or 3
So is
coaches.
the Valley not considered a good team then, or?
That's a great question.
Did it have
I mean,
an
BTK
analysis?
didn't have a coach either, and they, placed third place in M3. So I mean, you can't. I mean, yeah, coaches need it, but that goes to show, like, even without a coach, the team without one got pretty far, a lot further than teams that had one.
But
so,
I feel like in the long haul, like if the Valley continues to do this, and Leo brought it up earlier, like teams have knowledge on them now. Like there's no more, there's no surprise factor anymore. If they try to continue to do this, eventually that will be the downfall of them. Not having a coach and not having an analysis will end up being the thing that tears them down. That is honestly, when I look at them, I think that is their own. That is like That's the big crack in the armor, right? That's the big issue is, are they going to be able to spend all night long after playing all day analyzing their next game? Because all the other players get to rest up. They get to rest up for 10 hours and chill, and then they have their little 1 hour meet in the morning or their 1 hour meet at night, and it's all right, this is what we got, this is what we're going to do in draft. You guys don't even really have to think about it, at least for game 1, and then in game 2 we're all talking and da-da-da-da-da. And that's something that the Valley, BTK, they don't have it. And that's going to become taxing eventually, you know.
Does the coach go on stage
for the draft?
Like, yeah, they're there for the draft and then they leave.
Yeah.
For me, I think one of the biggest things for like a coach is people management. So like, I don't think we would have seen BTK implode if they had a coach to, you know, sort out their little fights that they had between themselves. And so I think that's a big thing for a coach in Mobile Legends, at least.
Any sport, right?
Yeah, well, any sport.
Do the NA teams typically have coaches or no?
Don't know. This is first time.
But we don't even have like so you got to think we don't have like franchises really. Like we don't have any sponsorship really. So any coach that is here is just someone that's, you know, doing it out of free will essentially, you know.
Doesn't Steph Wheezy coach a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I coach teams, but like you said, without franchises behind it and everything, like it's more like trying to be the first to kind of do it and get more people to do it and help these teams out. But like we said, like we haven't had as much events in NA. Like NA is on the rise. So like when you look at, you know, the C server, you look at Indonesia, the Philippines, like y'all are on like what season like 10 and things like that, and we're like, you know, we're just now kind of stepping up. So I think coaches are there. They're definitely starting to rise, such as like there's also more teams that are coming out of nowhere that are really good as well. So I think it's just one of those things that's going to come with time for sure for the NA server. But currently right now, like there's nobody that really is top tier of the line coaching right now that can, and I think that's what the Valley was kind of looking for, and they just weren't able to find one in time prior to like M4s. And I think maybe Dave is most likely going to kind of fill that position for them currently.
I think for North America, like in general, a lot of our fan base, like we're talking about like a MOBA game, right? Like a massive online battleground arena. You know, when we're comparing that, a lot of the Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Philippines, everyone, you know, they may not have a good computer. So they always have smartphones. So they have a very huge player base and a lot of money going through that, you know, and people can make a living out of, you know, playing Mobile Legends in those Asia countries. But in North America, like most of us either already have a computer and they're playing like other different types of games. And we just didn't have that like player base even back then. And, you know, our region really like kind of kept hanging on just because we had a lot of content creators, you know, like Zay in general. And they've kind of like hanged on to the community, but we never really had, you know, the ability to, you know, finance players and, you know, have them play as professional players while they have managers or coaches, you know, to help them out, you know, to tell them how to act or like the draft and stuff. So I think we're moving towards having a lot of coaches. But at this very moment, like there's just not enough, you know, money or prizes or we like I don't think any coaches can make a living out of, you know, just doing Mobile Legends right now in North America.
I've got a question for UA and Boca. So like when you guys went through the NACT, it's like who was shot calling or like who was, you know, like did you ever have any infights in your team and like how did you deal with that?
All the time. I was playing NACT with Gosu. I think we went, I think maybe top 16 or something like that. We didn't go really that far. I play Rome for my team and I talk a lot. I've always talked a lot, so I do a lot of the shot calling. And my mage actually doesn't talk too much, so most of the responsibility does come onto me. I'm the most vocal. You know, when something's missing, when a spell's gone, or like when we should fight. There's kind of like a hierarchy system of like checks and balances that I like to do, where I can make a call and, you know, somebody else can be like, no. Like that's a bad idea, and I'll just be asking for it. So, in terms of shot calling, like I would have to do it. Drafting wise, each team, some of the members have inputs or opinions that are strong, or it could be like specific matchups, right? So I'm a roamer. I know my matchups. I expect my mage to know their matchups and have a handful of heroes, like maybe like 3 or 4 that he or she can pick at all times, right? Whether it's a first pick or a last pick counter. And I kind of expect that throughout like my marksman and my EXP leader and also my jungler. So we don't have a coach. I would just say, at least for my team, we kind of just talked over it. Everyone kind of had the inputs in. And we did get into, scuffles, fights and stuff. Because like we don't have a third person. We don't have a mediator. We don't have somebody watching over us, standing in neutral grounds. And telling us like, hey, like this is right, this is wrong, or this is how you could do better. It was just us talking to each other. So of course, fights all the time. But with these small fights, we try to spend a lot more time to talk to each other, and hopefully we can have a better understanding next time. And we do watch film. We do all the stuff that you guys are all talking about, like. I'm doing research on the team, drafting, getting the PowerPoints down, and like the team meetings 1 hour before, you actually have your match. We try to do all those things. But again, like if we had a coach, of course, it would take a lot of the stress and the responsibility off of us. And like that would be, amazing. But unfortunately, we just haven't had something like that yet. Boko?
Yeah, over on our side, for Bloodhounds, like when we got into NACT, like we didn't expect to get as far as we did, and even then it was, we're happy with it, but like, yeah, just going into it, I was the shot caller. I'm our mid lane, and I figured, hey, like if I'm gonna be, clearing waves and rotating and kind of creating the flow of the game, like, yeah, I should be, talking the most, and there'd be times where our team just really wasn't in sync, or like someone wanted to go do something else, or even Tank would find a set and not even call it, and we're just like oh my god, like what's going on. And it just we're a newer team, and that's bound to happen. But it caused a ton of fights. And if we lost, I think 2 series because we made it to the top 8, and then you had a double elimination. We lost both of those, and after each of those we were obviously all upset with ourselves and talking about what we could have done better, and literally just that. But I guess moving forward, yeah, we don't have a coach. We don't have any anybody to sort of mediate this, but like we've kind of figured that like since we don't have that, like we can take our time, all 5, to really discuss, okay, who should be like calling the shot. Should it be me? Should it be our jungler? Should it be our roamer? Like and at what time should we all talk, and what is the most important thing to say so that we can make comms the most clean in every single game as well.
Yeah, I'd like to harp on that as well. Like for myself, I did NACT as well. I got top 32, and I was coaching like my own professional team, OTS, and I just kind of had the issue of being the coach and a player at the same time. Like I needed a little bit more time to coach than be a player, so I stepped out of that zone. And so like I'm 100% a caster and a coach now, alongside Coach Deku. And what we did was we recently built a server just for coaching. And like we have a whole server. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Coach Deku's kind of spearheading that. But we've actually coached a lot of teams and given them advice, watch their playbacks of videos. I mean, it kind of helps being a caster because like we watch games all day, we break them down, and we talk about what they could have did better. So we kind of do that similar format for teams as well to try and help them progress. And
I'm in that Discord server. That's a solid server, bro.
Yeah. So that one it's helping a lot. Definitely, if anybody does want some coaching, that is something that is out there for NA side of things. Things that we like to do. Like I said, when I was just coaching my own team, like you said, good point by Boca. Shot caller is one of them. You have to have like an established shot caller in the game. Like when the coaches are gone and you have the draft and you're in the game, you need somebody to lead the direction on where to go. And, to get that win, you don't want like a whole team just kind of being quiet and waiting for something to mess up, and then everybody's yelling at each other. So that was one thing we kind of did. Like we would even do like voting on who the shot caller is for the team. You know what I mean? It didn't want to be like a dictatorship, but like kind of like who everybody thought would be best for each team, things of that nature. Things that we did do or still do, as well as like tier lists, like not tier lists, but like hero pool for each player, knowing like what your roam can do, what your mage can do, and everything. So we do have it. Like I actively do this every day, and so does Coach Deku. But like I said, this is like up and coming. Like that, you guys joined the server, but like that server was just made. You know what I mean? So it is in work, but like a little too late after like what the Valley needed. Like they needed a coach probably like right before M4 last minute. So like it's for that, I definitely think Dave will probably most likely try and help them where he can. But we do have the resources when they get back to kind of help them. We have the NASL where they can compete at to get practice on. I even opened up the MLSA, which is kind of like a scrim academy where teams can practice like team. Let's say teams want to join the NASL on the weekends and compete for a league. Well, we have I opened up a thing that's during the week where teams can scrim and practice, kind of like a MPO format type thing. And like we have series, like 3 series on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we run like King of the Hill every Monday and Wednesday, which is like winning team stays on. And there's a bunch of top teams in NA in there. Like Ackerman's been playing in there, Nova Core, a lot of Zane's even a part of that. They haven't played obviously because they're in Jakarta, but like I said, the purpose of that is to help teams gear up for like if we do come out with like an NA, MPL, NASL, if that comes back live next year, like there'll be teams not like fresh off the block trying to compete without any guidance. And then, like I said, we also have that server that you guys seen that we can help coach them up as well prior to future leagues.
Well, does anyone have? I know we're sitting at almost an hour and a half. I didn't want this to go over 2 hours. I know Nice Julio, Mirko, you guys are all early morning. To me, it's 12:30. Anyone got any final statements? Anything? Any final hype other than go Echo, Nisu?
Did Trex DC, bro?
No, he's in here. I would say shout out to Trex, man. I'm looking forward to you in M4. Definitely you, the Valley, Dave. You know, y'all got to represent. So I'm excited to see you guys on the big stage.
Anyone else? We can go around, give closing statements if we want. Leo?
Yeah, no, I'm just excited to see everyone flying out. Y'all take care, especially to combat, because you said some things about RRQ, bro. So
Get ready, bro. Get ready.
I'm about to body you.
I am just hyped to be here. Again, this is the biggest gathering for MLBB in the longest time. So just happy. And then this room too, right here. Like I'm so happy to have shared some time with y'all fellas here. So thank you.
Mirko?
Yeah, I mean, same thing here, man. Thank you, everybody, for coming and talking for Roundtable. I think I got a lot of new info that, I can use during cast with Leo and Nice Trex. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see you guys, the people who are going to be flying over to M4, to Jakarta. I'll take you out to eat. Nasi Padang, bro. You guys will like it. Trust me. Indonesian food, delicious.
Not too spicy.
I'll take you
not
out.
Too spicy.
Oh, everything's spicy. So, you gotta... it's fun. It's for content. You guys are going to be like, your tongues are going to be flaming, bro.
I love it.
Boca?
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting everyone who I haven't formally met. Mirko, Kausep, Leo, Nisu, it's an honor meeting you guys, and I wish you guys the best in M4. Have a safe trip if you're not there yet, and to those who are, be watching you guys from the stream, and just that, yeah.
Bro, did anybody tell you look like XQC?
Yeah.
Every single day. Every single day.
Every single day.
I never even put those together. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was just like, dude.
No. It's like chat always calls me Walmart XQC.
That went south.
Hey, I can do it to myself. I own it. It's whatever. So.
G.
It's hard to lead up after that, So I appreciate everything, man. T-Rex, like a brother to me. All of you guys in here, we've been together. We've met each other It's been amazing. Besides Cowsep, of course, it's good to finally see Cowsep in person. You know, I've had plenty of talks with him. Wonderful, wonderful people in here. And you know, I can't wait to hopefully be at a casting desk with all of you. I think that would be epic.
Yeah, to top on that, definitely appreciate everybody here today. Amazing content creators, casters. Looking forward to y'all, everybody in the stream. Appreciate you guys as well. Shout out to the Valley. You know, I'm telling you, I want to say try to North America, bro. So I'm waiting to hashtag that for all of 2023. So also any of these content creators, if you guys ever want to link up, make some content, I'm always free. Just shoot me a DM on Discord.
And for me, you know, I'm super thankful to be part of this cast. You know, we got 10 great people here. And, you know, each one has done, you know, amazing things for the Mobile Legends community. So I hope, you know, to see you guys 2013 or 2023.
2013.
I said 13.
I love it.
Going back in time. But, you know, for the people that are going to M4, I'm extremely jealous. I really, really want to be there. It seems like so much fun, especially, you know, everyone here is friends. Like, you guys can all meet up, get some food, you know, walk around the town, you know, the hotels. It's just it all sounds so much fun. So I'm definitely going to have a little bit of a FOMO watching. I'll be in Taiwan. So I'll definitely be supporting you guys.
Next year.
Yes, year. Next year.
We got to go
next year.
deep. We got to show up deep. NA crowd, man.
Steve, just mob.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, it's been an honor as well, doing this this stream with you guys. I was just kidding about the whole RRQ thing.
Oh, now
Yeah,
you're taking back.
So yeah, just take it easy on me. No, I can't wait. I can't wait to go experience it all. Meet all of these amazing people that I've been watching for the last like 3 years. You know, it's going to be an honor just to sit in the same room with some of you guys. So yeah, I can't wait. And go the Valley and go Onic and RRQ.
I mean, there's so much to say about the entire M4 thing. It's my first tournament in Mobile Legends, so I don't really know much going into it, and that's why I spent a lot of time just listening and trying to absorb what to expect from it. A lot of my viewers in general, compared to the other games I play, are really into esports for Mobile Legends. So I can already tell that if you want to be a part of the Mobile Legends scene, you have to really get into the esports and try to understand it and try to learn it. And even all the NA content creators that I've seen are all a part of esports, right? Like, I haven't really seen any pure gameplay content creators here. So I learned a lot in general about the esports, and it was a pleasure being here and trying to absorb as much as I could about something I don't already know about.
You know, thank you for being here, Cowsep. Honestly, I know you've been sick the past few days. And honestly, just sitting here and listening, man, I appreciate it. The questions you asked in the beginning, those are sometimes the hot takes that that we all ask sometimes. So
I have different perspectives, right? Because I've been around. I've been doing it for like 8 years or something. So, you know, I'm always down to share different opinions on the matters other than, you know, just the default ones.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it for sure. Hopefully we can get you on again. Are you? I know there was like talk that you were possibly going to M4. Are you gonna maybe show up? Maybe, or are you staying over in? You're in Korea, right?
I'm in Korea. I was planning to go to M4, and then I realized that it was 2 weeks, and there's just no way that I could put 2 weeks into going to M4, right? So I offered to do 3 days, but it was too short, so I decided against going.
All right. Never know. Maybe we will see you in some future events or something, man. Get to meet in person. I do appreciate it. Naisu, you didn't go yet, right?
Oh, he needs the mic.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. I'm just happy to be here, man. Coming from, again, I used to be a teacher. I used to just play ML, and I picked my favorite hero because he was a professor in the lore, and I never thought, you know, after this time, like I've been casting for a year, and now I'm here in M4. It's actually just really, it's been a journey for myself, but like watching the esport as well, and then finally being here at this world stage and making so many friendships along the way, and then even with like the players and stuff, like I can't wait to see it all unfold in like a couple days. I think this kind of happened to me in MSC. It hasn't hit me yet, but like the day before, the night before, everything kind of comes crashing down, and that's when it gets hype as hell. And it's really fun. I think that's the biggest thing, is like it is just a fun, and I understand why someone would say I'm jealous of you guys, because I was jealous of that too. And then when you come and experience, whether it's a viewer, caster, even any part of the team, like everybody just loves the experience, and we're all here to celebrate these amazing players and teams as well. So again, thank you for having me a part of this, and I can't wait to see some of you guys in a couple days.
I feel just like Naisu. I mean, definitely super crazy, right? And I don't think it's hit me either yet. One quick note. Well, 6 months ago, Leo jumped into a VC with me. I think G was there. I think Combat was there. We were practicing for like one of the first NACTs you guys were invited to. And Leo said the word. He said something like, "Don't completely count it out, man. You could maybe come to M4." And he was like, "Don't completely count it out, man. Don't One time I was sitting in a VC like this with whoever and whoever the same exact way, and they're all casted now. And da 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 da." And at the time, I didn't know if it would actually happen. And Leo, I appreciate it, man. Big shout out to Naisu, Mirko coming over, casting in NA and stuff, man. Wheezy, G, Boca, Combat, everybody, Cowset, man, everyone just making content for ML, I think. English-speaking content, I think that in general just helps NA, and Mirko, Leo, they could be doing it in whatever language, but they choose to do it in English, and I think that helps attract NA viewers and stuff. So I appreciate all you guys for joining tonight. It was really a pleasure. I love doing stuff like this with everyone, just kind of hanging out, talking. All the viewers who watched, whether you are on the NASL channel, I know Mirko's streaming it too right now. Seriously, much love, guys. I'm fucking hyped for M4, and also it has not hit me yet, and I don't even know how I'm gonna feel when I get off the plane. So let's fucking go, guys.
You'll feel it.
Bro, I'm opening with you, bro.
Spicy food.
I don't think we're supposed to say that.
Too late. Out there.
Yeah, me and Nicey are
Coconut.
supposed to open together.
Coconut?
In the hotel.
Yeah, it comes for
Is
free.
that a
whole coconut?
Starbucks? Like, is that like Starbucks? Like,
Have you seen those
Share it.
TikToks where the girl's like opens the coconut and caramel, coconut?
no.
What is this now? Anyways, all right. Thank you everyone for watching. Much love. Feel free to say bye. Let's go for M4.
See ya.
See ya.
Happy New
Let's go
Year.
M4.
Thank you guys.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Great.